To tell us more about the new age aftermarket, please welcome our next keynote speaker, Mr. S. Muralidharan, President, Lucas Indian Service. A mechanical engineer from IIT Kharagpur and MBA from IIM Bangalore, Mr. Muralidharan has headed aftermarket operations in Bosch India as regional president, was executive director at Frost & Sullivan, and on the board of directors at Man at Hewlett, Bosch Limited. A strong aftermarket professional, Mr. Muralidharan is also credited with developing branding, sales, and marketing strategies. May I request Mr. Muralidharan to please come on stage? Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Mr. Muralidharan.
Thank you for the kind introduction. It's always nice to be reminded of things you had long forgotten. A part manufactured in Ambattur, fitted on a vehicle made in Pune, driven by a semi-literate driver in Varanasi, breaks down during monsoons, the spare part of which has to be shipped from Delhi, a warehouse in Delhi. And before you say Jack Robinson, it's there in Facebook. Welcome to the new age of aftermarket. A 56,000 crore market, growing at double digit, spread across over 600 districts in this country, with a little over 100 million vehicle owners, attracts both competition and contempt. It's in the midst of change. It's not just 20 saal baat, maybe it was 20 saal pehle, when to get a spare parts, the manufacturer would quite calmly state to the distributor, 10 piece chahiye, 2 piece le jao. Hey Bhakt, he'll say, Dhanyavad. That today the same market has Sun Baba Sun, Pyar Ki Dhund. The customer wants German quality, Chinese prices, delivered at his doorstep. This market now has several contradictions which needs to be managed. The first is the vehicle park is growing. Everybody is enamored how big the market can be, how big the service industry can be, how big the spare parts demand is. Vehicles growing at 5%, 7%, 10% year after year. But the quality of parts is improving. Several parts do not need replacement. Better maintenance culture ensures that breakdown maintenance doesn't happen. As a consequence, every survey with a statistical analysis has shown that the rate of growth of the aftermarket potential is not equal to the rate of growth of the vehicle park. In fact, it's about 61 to 62% of the rate of growth of vehicle park. Similarly, everyone wants an upgrade of car. Everyone. You have a two-wheeler when you're in college, you need a small car. You have a small car, you have a big car. You have a fleet operator with a BS vehicle, you want a better BS vehicle. Non-BS, BS. Everyone wants it. But the infrastructure has simply not kept pace, be it the level of roads, and more recently, the level of digitization. It's one thing to talk of Internet of Things in a slide in an air-conditioned room here. Quite another to think of connected vehicles when you go to Guwahati. This inherent contradiction between an individual's aspirations for a better vehicle, if not matched with the existing infrastructure, be it technology, be it manpower, be it digital, be it roads, makes any kind of aftermarket service a challenge. I'd like to mention just 3 points which I think will determine not just today, but in the next couple of years. They've all been mentioned in various forms, in various forums, but there's no harm harping on those 3 points again. The first I broadly call as technology. Technology here is not just electric vehicles, Internet of Things. It's none of the sophisticated things. It's even more down to earth. It's safety. It is BS norms. This country took a few decades to change from no BS norm to BS1, a decade to go from BS1 to BS4, and from just 2 years to go from BS4 to BS6. Understand the plight of the small garage owner who learned to trade with a 1719 spanner, was educated in the carburetor, and now suddenly realizes there's a multi-point fuel injection with an ABS system, nitrogen-filled tires, automatic transmission. I seriously feel the era of small garages may be severely questioned. I do not want to use words like threat today. Technology could be such a transformator disruptor. Second, what I broadly call as monetary. No, it's a very big word. Finally, there was this era of Kashmiri Gate. Everybody in this room, whether he's in service or not, knows Kashmiri Gate, Opera House, GP Road, Central Market, C forms, Echorikia, F form, no F form, a lot of C forms, with bill, Parchi. But the era of demonetization, GST, online work, has made a few things redundant. You do not need so many warehouses for the sake of saving sales tax. You do not need a warehouse in a Panchkula, in a Chandigarh, and a Mohali, or in the outskirts just to capture Faridabad or a Noida for UP. It is true that India, which now has some kind of a free trade agreement with Thailand, Bangkok, Chennai is closer than the erstwhile excise duty-free zone of Nalagarh, Delhi, Chennai. Let me repeat. Bangkok, Chennai, where India has a free trade agreement, is closer than Nalagarh, Delhi, Chennai. In other words, material flow can happen from anywhere to anywhere. The Amazons, the Flipkarts, the Swiggis have proven that, which means the end user now demands that just because he gets a pizza 20 minutes after he's ordered, or he gets a bottle of medicine from Amazon just 6 hours because he's ordered, he expects the spare parts to come to him 20 minutes after the car is parked. The rules of the game have changed. And one significant thing of this would be the layers of distribution which were there, from a manufacturer, distributor, wholesaler, dealer, retailer, up to an end service garage. Just like the small garage, those days are likely to be severely numbered, because it's not going to be possible that if an Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Swiggy's can deliver to your doorstep in a certain cost, in a certain time, a manufacturer can say to service a broken down vehicle, I'll have a distributor, dealer, sub-dealer, service dealer, and the part goes there. Margins become important. And the third is digitization. The effect of digitization cannot be understated. An end user stands outside a garage. It could be an authorized garage or a non-authorized garage, is irrelevant. In front of the person, Googles, gets a rate, and then decides, ये rate ठीक नहीं है आपका. Not all are luxury car owners who want experience. The small car owner, the two-wheeler dealer, the ace driver wants value for money, for which he says, both of you are service dealers, you're charged 100, you're 95, what are you going to give to me for the additional 5? Digitization has gone a step further. Why should a fleet operator having 200, 300, 400 trucks, I'm just saying trucks or buses, go to a garage for service? The garage does 300 trucks a month. He'd rather have his own garage. Fact. Why should he drive his truck to a garage? He'd rather set up his own garage. Why should an Uber with so many fleets as an aggregator go to a garage? He'd rather have a tie-up for his own garage. So the concepts of AMC, fleets wanting to attract end users towards themselves, which has already happened to a great extent in Western Europe, is likely to be here anytime. If you ask me, it's already here, because the top fleet operators ask that why didn't you come to my place and give door delivery? It's just a reflection. If I can get a pizza in my house delivered, if I can get some idli in my house delivered, why can't I have an AMC delivered in my vehicle when I have 300, 400 trucks or 200, 300 cars? So 3 changes: technology, what I call as monetary, third digital. How do we tackle this? Number one, in my view, is this is going to be a very micro business. If you want to have something serviced in Patna, make sure you deal in Patna. Don't think here that you can sit in Delhi, and Delhi unke liye bahut dur hai. And if you're going to be in Raipur, Bilaspur, it's not Raipur, Bilaspur, it's Raipur, Bilaspur, Bilai, Ambikapur, Korba, Jagdalpur, because your vehicle's there. Aftermarket is now a micro business. Just like you have one end user, you're likely to have one service, one aftermarket, which is micro. And second, on a much broader frame, I think this is an era of collaborations. No one can have it all. There are big brands in aftermarket who say, I have a brand, I can do it all. I have my own network, I have this, I have that. And you also have the OEMs who feel they can do it all. They also feel, he's my customer, I can go to him, I can have so many workshops. But in the process of these big brands thinking they can have it all, and the OEMs thinking they can have it all, the man who wins is the spurious good, the reconditioned product. Because when these two people are trying to fight it out, it's the spurious reconditioned who sneak in and give their parts in all these micro markets. So this is an era where maybe to squeeze out reconditioned and spurious, you should think of OEM plus branded players. Can we give good value for money service? Because when these two lines are fighting, no pun intended, the spurious, reconditioned, small people take away valuable share. And the collaboration need becomes more evident when you go to a technology platform. The previous speaker already said 99% of the technology is common. See the sheer waste an OEM has his catalog. Big brand has his catalog. The other brand has his catalog. All different product catalogs, all different, but the customer is the same, the retailer is the same, the garage is the same. Europe has already moved towards a common platform for catalogs. Not just product catalog is just an example. So a common technology platform, sharing of technology resources across larger branded players definitely would improve softer things like safety, environment. Because within quotes, the fight between within quotes CM, within quotes ACMA, no one has solved the customer's problem of safety or emission or his need for better service. So both via technology as well as availability of genuine parts at the right price, right quality, etc., could be a way forward so that the entire value chain wins. I can see someone giving me hints on time, so I'm going to say I'm now open for questions rather than prolong a monologue. Questions? Silence can be deafening, right? Yes. The first question is always the toughest.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. It is really helpful for us to understand what is going on in the market. Actually, the point you have raised, common technology platform, is actually a concern point in India, I would say. Like, I was talking about the same point in the last question also, I'm raising this again. So who is going to decide? Like, there are two categories now. 57% market is there, 43% market is there. So unauthorized sector is 57% market. So is there any leader who can actually lead these kind of things, a common platform, common technology platform, so that the customer could be satisfied after implementing these kind of technologies?
Is there a common leader? Possibly not. But common forum, possibly yes. IVASS could be a forum. ACMA could be a forum. CM certainly could be a forum. So there are forums. There are subcommittees within ACMA, for examples, where you can use it as a platform to at least throw open your views. And I personally know for a fact that ACMA is trying to scout around and try to build some of these together. Right? But your concern is valid. Yes?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My name is Abhay. Another question on this common technology platform. You mentioned that it will ensure customers' safety and the care towards the environment. How would that happen with this?
May not be directly connected. My point was simple. In all these discussions, we should not let spurious recondition spoil the brand image, either of the vehicle or the brand, first point. Second, finally, the end user wants safety. He wants fuel consumption, which we can call as environment pollution. He wants value for money or customer experience. I think if we keep that as the end objective, whether we do it via technology and therefore collaborate, I think we'll be a winner. That's my point. Yes? Yes, in the back.
Sir, after 2020, everything seems to be moving towards electric vehicle, and the parts market as such will kind of see an impact because there won't be many parts left in the car to do. So where do you see that heading towards?
You know, you've asked about half a dozen questions in that one question. The future of electric vehicles is a subject by itself. I really don't want to go too deep into it. The second, any automobile, from the time Rudolf Diesel invented the diesel engine 1.4-1.5-2.4-3.6 cycle, the vehicle will have components. Yes, the life of each and every one of those components is increasing. It's increasing. But that doesn't mean the vehicle doesn't need to get serviced. Be it a refrigerator, be it a TV, be it a smartphone, there's still not a gadget which says it's for life and throw away. The car will also need to be serviced. The kind of servicing will change. It could be more diagnostics. I mean, you'll have a tester which diagnoses the car and then decides what you have to do, which means the workshop labor will come from labor in the diagnostics. It will not come by the changing the parts of the carburetor. Right? It can come by charging of the battery in an electric vehicle. Somebody has to charge the battery of the electric vehicle. The garage does it. He will earn revenue out of that. It will come out of reconditioning some of the starters and alternators which may be needed, not by simply repairing it. So the kind of servicing needed will change. And I cannot emphasize this enough because this could be the single biggest factor which will affect the future of a few 100,000 small garages in this country. Okay? So if there are no more questions, I'll just sum up. Large market, going through change. One last question? Oh, of course, yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Yeah.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Kiran. Sir, in commercial vehicle industry, most of the customers have their own workshops. And nowadays the demand is coming that give us a self-authorization so that our warranty will not be hampered. So will it be a good idea to give them the self-authorization?
The first part, I fully agree. As fleet operators are looking at having their own workshops. It started with some very big truck operators. It's going to buses. I think it's just around the corner that even the car fleet operators will have their own small workshops. The trend has started. I expect it to be very quick. The kind of parts is finally a customer's choice. You cannot decide even what kind of tea you should have. And this is his vehicle. He wants ABC parts in XYZ brands, he will get it. What you can ensure is the quality of service, that he goes back satisfied. And I want to keep emphasizing this point, because in our society, we have quality of manufacture, we have quality of design, but we have very little norms or standards for quality of service. And as long as you have those standards of service, it doesn't really matter to the customer. वो पीले डब्बे में डाला है या लाल डब्बे में डाला है या उसका genuine part है. He wants a genuine part. He wants his vehicle to run. The customer doesn't know what the part inside. He comes to you with a starting problem. He doesn't know if it's a switch, a starter, an alternator, a battery, a wiring, or he doesn't know. Solve his starting problem. He goes back. And you do it in his garage, he's even more happy. No more questions? There is one more question.
Hi, I'm Arun Prasad. With the growing technology and electronics coming into the vehicles like trucks or cars, how do we see this unauthorized workshop gearing up for handling all the multi-branded cars or trucks?
See, I do not see these as unauthorized or authorized. I see them as good workshops or not so good workshops. I mean, the number of unauthorized, so-called unauthorized workshops today are flourishing. I mean, they're not gotten bankrupt in the last 80 years. They haven't. I mean, no matter what the branded companies or the vehicle manufacturers try, they're still there. By any estimate, they do from 43% to about 65% of the business. But at the risk of repetition, they will be under severe stress if they don't change. But I'm an eternal optimist. Indians know how to change. Jugaad is a simple word. Wealth is there in the bottom of the pyramid. If the guys have changed from a carburetor up to a multi-point, I see no reason why they cannot change. So with that fairly optimistic note, and before she lands up on the stage to push me out, thank you very much for your time. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir.